If this seems like an attack, I didn't mean it that way. If everything that I'm saying describes you right now that's watching this video, it's not an attack. I'm just calling it for what it is. This is just across the board foreigners. There's weird foreigners, digital nomads, and expats that are currently in Medellin that I cannot stand. You motherfuckers are some of the most fakest people I've ever met in my entire life.
Hey, Jamie Woods, we here to travel and motivate. No curry, we just trying to keep our minds in a golden state. We answer to nobody but the Lord, we control our fate. Too many things to see just to sit in a hole and bake. We growing, ayy.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Jamie freaking Woods back in the building. And if you guys mess with my content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure to hit the like button, that notification bell, so that way you guys know when your boy's dropping that heat. But speaking of that heat, today's gonna be some heat. And the crazy part is, guys, I might end up being on the hot seat for this video, but it's something I needed to get off of my chest. This is no disrespect to anybody, but I don't know if you guys are viewing the title. But basically, guys, I think I might give Colombia a break. I think I might give Medellin a break. Because I just kept thinking about it over the course of the last couple months that I've gotten back from Colombia. So I don't know if you guys knew, but I went to a trip to Medellin, Colombia very recently. I think this was in September, November now. So it's been a couple months. So I've had a little bit of time to reflect on it. And I've come to the basis or the conclusion that I need a break from Colombia. All right, I've only been there twice. But I already need a break because I've noticed there are a couple things that are bothering me about Colombia, and this is no disrespect to Colombia and Colombians, but it's just me personally as a tourist, as a foreigner coming into your country. There are a couple things that bother me that I think I may need a little bit of distance for the time being. And I have a deep love for Colombia. I love Colombia as a country. I love Colombians. You guys have a fire-lit culture. I love ya. I love everything about Colombian culture. But there are a couple things that I think are preventing me from wanting to go back to Colombia. And let's go over those real quick.
Come to my city. Come to my city. My city is beautiful.
Are you going to be my tour guide? Boa noche.
Boa noche.
Sí, yo sé un poco portugués. Un poco portugués, ya tú sabes.
Your Portuguese is very well.
That's...
I learn English. My English very bad.
No, it's good. I understand you very well.
Oh, my English.
It's perfect. Perfecto.
Jim?
No. Yeah, academia.
Academia? Yeah.
Academia, sim. Sim, eu sei um pouco português.
Você está treinando hoje? Oh. Caraca.
Braços.
Oh, braços. Nice.
Sim.
Braço. Oh, braço. Como é que tá o braço?
La pierna. I'm going to stay in Copacabana, Ipanema, sí. I'm going to stay in that area. Zona Azul.
Zona Azul?
Sí.
Yeah.
Y me voy a quedar ahí, tú sabes.
Portuguese is very well, I think.
No.
My city is Fortaleza, Ceará. My city has been beautiful beach, no beach.
I know you meant. I know what you meant.
Number one is safety. Now, while I will say this, Colombia has come a very long way from the Pablo days where it used to be super dangerous. Kidnappings were happening, robberies, deletions were happening on a daily, right? I will say this, Colombia is a lot safer than, let's just say, it was 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And I'm super happy and proud of the Colombian people for putting their past aside and trying to become better as a nation, as a country, as people. So shout out to my Colombian people. However, when I'm talking about safety, I'm talking about the social scene there. So, for example, when I'm out socially, I feel like I'm such a huge target in Colombia compared to some other places in the world. Like, for example, I don't feel that way in Europe. I don't always feel that way when I'm in Asia. But for some reason, when I'm in Colombia specifically, I feel like a target. Everybody knows I'm an American. It's easy to tell for some reason, even though I'm Latino, I'm Dominican. But they just know without me opening my mouth that I'm American. Like, I don't know if it's the walk, the way I move, the way I am, my vibe, but they know this guy's an American. So because of that, I find that in Colombia, I always need to be looking behind my back, like who's trying to scam me. Every time I go out to a place, like I feel like they're always trying to milk all the last dollars out of me. Like for example, if I would go to a beach or whatever, and I'm trying to use a jet ski. Like for example, my friend, he was at a beach in Cartagena. He was using a jet ski, and it's a 15-minute ride on the jet ski. And basically, when he got back, because he actually timed it, so he had a timer. He set the timer. He was going around, came back 15 minutes exact, and the guy was like, "Oh no, bro, you were out there for 30 minutes." When that was a lie. That's a very popular scam that goes on in Colombia, and they do this to basically try to get more money out of you and try to be slick. And I feel like I don't want to go nowhere that is trying to get every last dollar out of me. I don't want to go anywhere where people are lying to my face to try to get more money out of me. Another thing is there are taxi scams in Colombia. Like, for example, when you guys are going to the airport or whatever, I've heard multiple rumors of taxi drivers stopping at a gas station. Like, they'll tell you, hey, I got to go to the bathroom or I got to use the gas station, whatever, right? They'll leave the car. Next thing you know, 2-3 people come out of nowhere and rob you. Take everything that you have, and then the taxi driver comes back and says, yo, what happened? Like, acting all surprised. But in reality, he was a part of the setup. So I've heard multiple rumors of taxi drivers, Uber drivers. I've heard multiple rumors of Colombian locals setting up gringos for whatever reason, for ransom, kidnappings, whatever. And then on top of that, as you guys know, the 𝐾𝐿𝐴 stuff. That right there is just, I don't understand why Colombia hasn't cracked down on that. I mean, there's been situations in Brazil and the Dominican Republic. I mean, it was just a situation very recently in the Dominican Republic where I think this young lady, a pro, she had deleted a guy. I don't know the circumstances of it, but it's, it's still a very new case that went viral. I don't know if you guys saw it. But yeah, this guy got deleted in the Dominican Republic, and of course, this guy got drugged in Brazil. But guess what happens? The police there crack down on that stuff. They don't tolerate that. They make sure this person is in custody and they're serving a good amount of time because they want to make an example out of this person. Like, hey, we don't tolerate this in our country because the more y'all target tourists, the less of them are going to want to come, the less money is coming into our country. Now, Colombia, I'm not quite sure how the economy works there exactly. I don't know if it's tourism dependent or if it's getting its money elsewhere. I'm not sure. But sometimes I feel like it's not that way with the tourists, because the thing is, I feel like tourists are always getting set up and nothing's ever getting done about it. And then if they do get the people that are responsible for this, it's like a slap on the wrist. It's like, all right, we'll take you in for a little bit, maybe take a video with you, and then, all right, you go. And then they just let them go. And I feel like, how are you supposed to teach people a lesson? How are people supposed to stop doing this if nothing's being done about it? If there's no severe consequences to these things? And I feel like it happens too much over there to the point where it's normalized. And to me, once something like that becomes normalized, that's a huge red flag to me. Every time I'm around someone in Colombia, there's always like a paranoia. Like, are they trying to set me up? Are they trying to steal from me? Are they trying to drug me? And I know not all Colombians are like that. That's unfair to say all Colombians are like that. I'm not going to put all Colombians in one bracket. There are a lot of great Colombians. However, in places like Medellin and the tourist areas, there's a lot of people that try to take advantage of the fact there's a lot of gringos, and they try to set you up. Women being the best at it, because you would never suspect it to be a woman. And on top of that, as men, we let our lust and desire and urges get the best out of us. So sometimes we may not even vet this girl like that. We may not know much about her, but we invite her over to the crib. One thing leads to another, and then bam, you wake up and everything's gone. On some Drake and Josh shit. Y'all ever seen that episode of Drake and Josh? Where I think it was Josh that goes in and there's no furniture around. They literally got robbed for everything. That's literally what be going on in real life to some of these dudes that be going to Colombia. Everything gets robbed. And I feel like no tourist or foreigner should have to go through something like that. That's such a bad look for Colombia. Colombia is an amazing, great country. Like, I remember when I was out there, when I was with my girl out there, and shout out to her, thank you. And she was such a great, she's such a great individual and very trustworthy. However, in the beginning, when I first met up with her over there, of course, my paranoia was kicking in because I didn't really know her like that. And so I remember she made some tea for me. I don't know why. I think I felt a little sick. So she made some tea for me. And I was like, I remember her serving me the tea, and I was just looking at it like, should I drink this? Should I not? I ended up not drinking it, and she got mad at me for not drinking it. And I didn't want to tell her the reason why I didn't want to drink it, but it's because I felt paranoid. Like, what if I sip on this? There's scopolamine in it, and then she robs me. And the thing is, guys, the porteros and the security guards downstairs, sometimes that might be irrelevant because the thing is, these people could just pay them off. That's the thing about certain parts of Colombia and certain people in Colombia is they can just be paid off. So if this girl robs from you and she got a little something, she could just be like, hey, here's a little bit of pesos over here. Keep your mouth shut. Don't tell the authorities anything and let me get up out of here. And they'll do it, right? Because certain people need money. So if they can get themselves easy bread, even if it's at the cost of your life, of your health, they'll do it. And I've seen it over and over in Colombia where people just get paid off. Police get paid off. You can't even trust police. And that's another part of this is what if you just get pulled over one day, or maybe you're in a taxi, the taxi or Uber driver gets pulled over, and now they're looking at you and they could easily tell you're American because they have this sixth sense over there. And then they're gonna be like, all right, let's search him. Let's see what's up. They like what happened to my boy Zuri, where he went to Colombia. He was coming from 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞, so he had a lot of singles in his pockets, a lot of money in his pockets. And then the police pulled over the taxi driver. The police knew that Zuri was American. They searched him, and they took all his money. They said, hey, we're going to let you go, but under one condition. You got to give us all your money. So even the police can't be trusted out there. I can't trust the police. I can't trust women. I can't trust certain locals. I can't trust certain establishments, like, restaurants, beaches. They're always trying to milk every little last coin out of you, every little last dollar out of you. Or if they can't milk it out of you, they'll try to rob you and delete you for it. And I feel like, why am I going to go to a place that I'm just set up to fail? I'm just set up to get robbed or something bad's going to happen to me. I don't always want to look over my shoulder to make sure I'm all right. I don't want to do that. So while Colombia is a lot safer than what it used to be, there are other aspects of it that's gotten worse with time. Number 2, the women have changed in Colombia, specifically Medellin. I'm going to talk about Medellin here because I can't speak for the entire country. However, Medellin, what I've realized, especially in the tourist areas, the women that hang out in the tourist areas, a lot of them are very egotistical now. It's not like the way it was. Imagine, even last year when I was in Colombia, it was fine. This time around, I went and I just noticed, and it's crazy how much of a difference a year can make. I go this year, and it's night and day. I tried talking to certain women out there, and they have this whole ego to them, this whole cockiness and arrogance, like very conceited vibes, similar to how some girls here in the United States or Western countries act, where you're not good enough for them. Oh, get away from me. Like my shit don't stink. Like that type of attitude. I've noticed that slowly creeping into Colombia. It's slowly creeping into Medellin, to where when you approach certain girls, they act all funny. Like they act like you got to do something massive for them. You got to bend over backwards for them in order for them to give you the time of day. And I mean, I hate to blame it on the tourists, but that is partly our fault, because we're coming into their country and we're spoiling these women for no reason. We're over here giving these women money, resources, everything off rip without even knowing them. So I feel like these women have gotten accustomed now to gringos and Americans and men in general doing these things for them. And so when they meet you off rip, they're going to expect that. Like, I've heard multiple stories from my boys, even myself, for example, where I would talk to someone and immediately upon me meeting them, they're asking me for an iPhone. They're asking me for $200. They're asking me to take them out to a good restaurant. And if I do mention a restaurant to them that I think is good, they're going to be like, oh no, I want to go to one more expensive than that. And I'm like, bro, why are y'all so entitled now? It wasn't like this last year. Now all of a sudden it's like this. And I think it's because the massive influx of Americans and foreigners coming in that are spoiling these women, that are falling for it. Because, guys, listen, I get it. We see a beautiful paisa woman saying papacito, all this other shit, right? And we're going to get hypnotized. And us as men, we're providers. So if we like a woman, the way that we want to show her that we like her is by spoiling her financially. So whether that's giving her resources, money, a new phone, car, giving her parents money, whatever the case is, paying her rent, paying her phone bill, paying her nails. But men, I think because we have set this standard in Colombia for the last 5, 6, 7, 10 years or so, where us gringos are just automatically dishing out money and resources to these girls. Now all of them feel that way. And there are certain good girls that are away from that, away from Medellin, that are viewing what's going on in Medellin. They're paying attention to what's going on in Medellin. They're seeing these paisa girls getting cars, resources, money. They're well off. They don't got to work no more, nothing. They're not breaking a sweat. And they're thinking to themselves, damn, like, why am I not going through this too? I'm beautiful. I just happen not to live in Medellin like that, or I don't live in the actual city center like that, in the poblados and the provincias, or I don't hang out there. But I kind of wish I was like that too. So now those good women outside of that area start getting spoiled too. So this is seeping into other cities like Cartagena, like Barranquilla, Santa Marta, you name it. It's seeping into those places where it's gonna become a nationwide issue, where these girls are just gonna expect things from us gringo. And what annoys me the most out of all of this currently is that they have such an attitude when you tell them no. Because I'm a person, I'll tell a chick no. Like, nope, that's not happening. I'm not doing that. And when you tell them no, now they got an attitude. Now, like, why not? Oh, you see, I want to deal with men that can spoil me, that can provide for me. And if you can't do that, I'm going somewhere else. And I'm like, fam, I just met you 5 minutes ago and you're asking me for a new iPhone. You're asking me for $200 off rip. I just met you 5 minutes ago. Why are you getting mad with what I'm doing and what I'm not doing with my own money that I worked hard for? It annoys me when some of these girls out there like try to talk to me like that, or try to talk to my boys, or try to talk to my peoples, foreigners, tourists like that. Like we're some type of ATM or something. Like we're made out of money. We're money trees and shit. Like, nah, fam. We work hard for our money. It may not seem that way to you, but trust me, we work very hard for our money. And I've noticed there's a lot of girls, as soon as they find out you're not going to give them no money, they're gone. So that what that tells me right there is there's a massive amount of women, right? I'm not saying all of them, but there's a massive amount of women out there that's all they want out of you is money. And they might, maybe if you do give them money, they might put up a front that they like you, but in general, they just want money off of you. And I know certain people that are literally dishing out money to these women every day, every week, like nonstop. They're literally busting their ass to provide for this woman. And meanwhile, she's talking to 5, 10 other guys that are also doing the very same thing for her. So this girl's making thousands of dollars every single month. This girl don't even gotta work. She don't gotta get no job. She don't gotta move out of bed, nothing, because y'all be PayPaling and Cash Apping or however you guys are doing it, these girls. And the kicker is that same girl y'all sending this money to, she got a whole man. She got a whole man that's probably laying right next to her laughing. They're sharing the money that you guys are sending them. You know what I mean? That's something that y'all don't realize about some of these girls is some of these girls like have boyfriends. They have whole husbands. And they know what's going on. Like sometimes the husbands and the boyfriends are perfectly fine with their woman hanging out with a gringo for a night, or going out to to parquilleras or whatever to make a quick buck or two, because they know that money's just going to be spent back on them, that money's coming back to them. And that's the thing, guys. I know for some of y'all don't care about that, but I know certain guys that go out to Colombia with good intentions, trying to wipe a chick up, and then this chick has a whole agenda. You know what I mean? So that's the thing, guys, is I've noticed the women out in Colombia as of late, in Medellin specifically, have gotten more egotistical, more cockier, and they're moving as such and they're talking as such. Doesn't mean that it's everybody or that is as bad as Western countries, because you can still find a lot of humble, down-to-earth, beautiful women in Medellin. However, I've noticed it's increasing and becoming worse and worse and worse. 3, now let's talk about the gringos, because that's another problem I got in Medellin that bothers me, is just the gringos that are in Medellin, okay? And if this seems like an attack, I didn't mean it that way. So if the shoe fits, that's on you, fam. So if everything that I'm saying describes you right now that's watching this video, it's not an attack. I'm just calling it for what it is. There's a lot of weirdo American men and foreigners. I wouldn't even just say American men. This is just across the board foreigners. There's weird foreigners, digital nomads, and expats that are currently in Medellin that I cannot stand. You motherfuckers are some of the most fakest people I've ever met in my entire life, man. I've hung out with some of these dudes in person, and I'm like, bro, you are not who you say you are on the internet. All right, a lot of these dudes try to flex and front like if they got money and everything's all set up in Colombia. Meanwhile, They're over here broke as hell, and they're over here desperately asking men to buy courses, to buy ebooks, to buy whatever it is that they're selling in order for them to make do and continue living in Colombia. And some of them go back and forth between the two. So they'll go back to the United States when they get broke, save up a little something, go back to Medellin, flex, get a penthouse and everything, get a bunch of baddies and all that, make it seem like they're the shit and they got money. And then when they run out, they're going back to America, make some more money, go back, repeat. And all those girls y'all seen with them in them videos, y'all think that those girls like them? Y'all think they're regular women? Absolutely not. These are pros. If y'all ever see these content creators or digital nomads or expats that don't speak a lick of Spanish and they're with a bunch of baddies in Colombia that don't speak English, that should tell you right then and there what's going on. That means they're paying pros for time, for content. There's literally a bunch of y'all digital nomads and expats and content creators in Colombia right now that pay these women to be in your videos to make it seem like y'all picking up genuine organic women when you're really not. Y'all doing a damage to this travel community because y'all giving off an illusion and a fantasy that's not realistic, and that'll never happen on this channel. Every time y'all see a woman on the screen with me, it's a real woman. Ain't no pros. I'm not paying no one to be in the videos with me like y'all doing, for example. Y'all giving off this illusion and fantasy. And what happens is these people will watch these videos and they'll be like, oh, I want to be like that guy. They go to Colombia and they end up finding out real quick that everything you guys were showcasing on TikTok and everything is fake. Right? And then they have to revert to P for P. And that's the reality of it, guys. That's the reality is if you don't speak Spanish, if you don't know about the culture, you most likely 9 times out of 10 will have to revert to P for P. And that's what these content creators and expats and digital nomads are doing. They're doing a lot of crazy shit with girls, with drugs, Tootsie, and all this other crap. And they're just selling y'all a dream. And I cannot be around these type of people. I cannot, because I'm not like that, okay? Sure, I love my beautiful Colombian women. Sure, I love Colombia. I love traveling. I love meeting Americans overseas. But a lot of y'all Americans and foreigners in Medellin are a bunch of weirdos, and I don't care if you guys take that offensively because I'm speaking facts. All right, so that's another reason is you guys are too much. You're doing the most right now. You're selling dreams. You're not being honest with your audience, and you're giving us such a bad reputation and name in Colombia to the point where you guys have gotten all these locals hating on us and trying to kick us out of Medellin because we don't know how to freaking act. But speaking of that, that segues me to my last point, the gringo hate. So because you dudes have done the most in Colombia, and because you dudes are doing a lot of shady and sketchy stuff in Colombia, now the Colombians hate us. They don't want us to be there. Now they got us, doing this long ass immigration line, and then you have immigration workers coming up to us, checking our phones, checking our luggage, invading our privacy, trying to see we're S tourists, because dudes like y'all ruin it for the rest of us. You know what I mean? And it's annoying to me that I go to Medellin and I get stared down. Like if I'm an S tourist, it should be annoying as hell because I'm not an S tourist. I'm not going to 𝐾𝐨𝐴∫. The last time I went to 𝐾𝐾𝐴∫ was my first time that I went to Colombia. And after that, I chose never to go back because one, it's a freaking tourist trap, right? So it's a bunch of expensive places. And on top of that, I don't like the culture there. I really don't. It's just a lot of P for P, a lot of weekend warriors. I'm not like these dudes. I don't want to be around there, right? And I'm not trying to make it seem like I'm better than them or they're better than me. I don't give a damn, all right? I'm just saying we two different type of people. Y'all got 𝐾𝐾𝐴∫. Y'all can stay over there. I'll go elsewhere. And, the amount of gringo hate that I experienced while I was in Colombia was crazy. And at first, everything was fine because I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm Latino. Like, I speak Spanish. I know the culture. I've been here before. I should be fine. And, yeah, certain points I was fine. But I've noticed that when I was with my girl out there, my Colombian girl, I would get a lot of hate. And I think it was because of the fact that people assumed because she was a very beautiful woman and she was curvy, that she was a pro when she really wasn't. She was a local woman, a real regular woman that has a job, 9-to-5 job. And every time after her 9-to-5 job, she would come through and we would hang out and all that. But people just assumed she was a working woman. Like, I'll never forget when I first checked into my apartment in Medellin recently in September. The guy was under the automatic assumption I was an S tourist. If you're gonna bring pros in, just let us know about it. I had to let him know, nah, bro, that's not gonna be me. You guys only have to worry about one girl, because that's my girl here, right? She's a regular chick. She ain't P for P. So y'all gonna see her every day. And just like I told them, she came by every day, and he started to realize, shit, this guy, that's his girl. I guess he was being honest. And so at first they were treating me weird, but then over time, they started to like me because they realized I wasn't like everyone else. I had an actual woman in Colombia. But every time I would go out to the mall or I would go out in public with her, people would be giving me like dirty looks, weird stares. They would give me like weird treatment. Like if we would go out to a restaurant together, they wouldn't even look at me, whether it was a male or a female. I always thought that was weird. So even though I'm paying for it, they're not giving me any attention. They're giving her the attention. And I speak Spanish. And I was just curious, like, why aren't they looking at me like that? Why aren't they paying attention to me? I'm paying. And I thought, all right, with the girls, I was like, all right, maybe it's because she doesn't want to make my girl jealous by giving me attention, so she's just talking to my girl predominantly. So I thought, all right, it's just the girls. But then when we had male waiters, they also did the same thing. So I'm like, that's disrespectful. De Medellín. No?
Sos paisa, sos antioqueño, sos la flor para el jardín, sos insignia de esta tierra, pues eres de Medellín, él es de Estados Unidos y se lo trajo la brisa. Mi amor, aproveche el socio y ahí se consigue la visa. Mentiras es por joder, estando aquí en mi país. Estados Unidos siempre, aquí puedes ser feliz. Las puertas están abiertas, por eso eres bienvenido. Y un aplauso en que se escuche, que sea para Estados Unidos.
And I'll never forget when it was my birthday, and because my girl actually paid for our tour to Guadalupe, because she wanted to take me to Guadalupe for my birthday. So one of the last stops that we did in that trip, in that tour, was we went on a boat and we would just go around the whole Guadalupe thing, whatever you want to call it. And there was this one singer, I think vallenato singer or whatever the genre is over there, that he would go from table to table, ask where you're from, and make a song about it. And so, he went from table to table to table to table, and he was talking about Brazil and Peru and all the other Latin American countries and people that were there. And he was speaking to them so nicely. He was making these beautiful songs about their country. And then we were the last table up. He came up to my table, and I just told him straight up, oh, I'm from America. She's from Medellin. And I didn't think anything of it. But then he started like looking at me all funny. He was like that. Like he gave me like a weird stare, like awkward silence. And then others started looking at me weird too, like, ooh, like this weirdo. Like, and I think I put two and two together at that moment. And I was like, all right, bro, like, you think I'm an S tourist. You think that, the girl I'm with is a pro just because she's pretty and curvy. And so did everyone else. They all thought the same thing. And so he made a song dissing me, basically, saying that, oh, yeah, these Americans, they come here and, baby, if I were you, use him for his visa and all that crap. And it was my birthday, by the way. I felt so offended. And I understand that, because a lot of Colombians came to his defense and they were saying, oh, bro, take a joke. He's just joking with you. He doesn't really mean it. But as a fam, listen, he meant it. I mean, just look at that video, guys, that I just showed y'all. He definitely meant everything he said. He just noticed that I got a little annoyed. And so to back himself up, he's like, oh, bro, I'm joking. But you're not joking, bro. Even my girl was uncomfortable. She told me, hey, let's go downstairs or something. Let's go downstairs because we were upstairs on the boat. She was so embarrassed. She wanted to go downstairs and go somewhere else because she was so embarrassed that he literally did that. And everyone just kept staring at us, giving us dirty stares. Just the amount of shit that I went through in Colombia, guys, because I was dating a Colombian woman, because I was a foreigner, because I'm American, is ridiculous. And the second side of this point is the men out there do not like it when we date their women. They are sick and tired of us going there, outpricing them, stealing their women, getting married with their women. They are sick and tired of it. I mean, look at it this way, guys. And this is a point of view not many people are talking about in this space. Because here in the United States, for example, a lot of us men feel that we're invisible because the rich men whether they're American or foreigners, are stealing all the women, right? All the baddest women are going to the same guys. All the baddest women are going to the same group of guys because they're all going after the elite, the 1%. So the rest of us are kind of ignored and we're dealing with everyone else that we don't desire. So that same thing is sort of, to an extent, happening in Medellin specifically, where a lot of the most beautiful women, the 8s, 9s, and 10s, they are for sale technically. And so just like we don't want to be messing with P for P girls and pros, they don't like dealing with either. And then on top of that, the other beautiful women that are there are being snatched up by Americans. So there's certain 8s, 9s, and 10s that are being snatched up by Americans or foreigners. They're getting flown out all around the world. They're moving to different countries. And so these men are picking up on it, and they don't like that. They don't like that we're stealing their women. You know what I mean? And so their way of getting back at us is by shaming us, by making dumb videos about us, saying these Americans, they're all the same. They're here for tourism. They're trying to take our women, minors, this, that. Basically throwing dirt on our name and all that out there. I mean, that one singer, like I told y'all, made a whole song about my girl using me for my video. And to me, I took that as, all right, bro, you just mad. You jealous that I'm with a beautiful Colombian woman and you're probably not. This type of stuff can be very dangerous because the thing is, like I said, certain men will go to violent measures to make an example out of you and to make sure that less and less gringos are going there to date their women. So this can put you in very dangerous situations. You might get jumped, robbed, whatever the case is. There's been incidents like that. So guys, be very careful out there. I mean, right now the gringo hate is very high. There's a lot of tension in Medellin. And not only that, I mean, this could be a bonus, but politically speaking, our presidents are in a feud. They're having a beef. So they're making it harder for each other for certain, tourists to go to each other's countries. So I think it's just going to get worse over time between the two, and that's just going to be reflected down to the people. It's just going to ripple down to the people. Because imagine, they already hate us as is. Now, they hate us for other reasons, like because they think our president is racist and he's a bad person. So all Americans got to be the same, and they all think we're the same. And I don't know, guys. Right now, I think Colombia isn't for me. I think I'm going to take a long break from Colombia. I'm going to go to other places. I'll stick to Brazil. I'll go to DR. That's my place. That's my motherland right there. I'll go to Europe. I'll go to Asia. Colombia, who knows? Maybe five years down the line. But I don't know if any of you guys feel the same way that I do. But I just feel like I'm kind of, I want to say falling out of love with Colombia, but more of I'm kind of checked out with Colombia for the time being. And I think I need to give myself a break before I go back out there. But let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree? Do you disagree with any of the points? Let me know in the comment section. Also, guys, make sure to check out the Patreon for exclusive content. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. And guys, thank you so much for watching. Until next time.